Uh, le- Let us start now.
Yes, ma'am. Just
Dr. Ganesh.
I'll go on Facebook. Yes, ma'am. 1 minute.
Namaskar. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to single lecture series by Academy of Rognidan. With immense pleasure and gratitude, I would like to introduce Professor Dr. Nisha Kumari ma'am, who is guest speaker of today's lecture. I welcome you, ma'am, and extend my gratitude towards you for accepting our request and sparing time to deliver your lecture on this platform. We are keen to hear the very unique and important topic, an analysis of gut microbiome with special reference to Kayagni in Ayurveda, which is a very rarest topic hardly touched by anybody. Ma'am is highly learned and not only has expertise in Ayurvedic medicine and Rognidan, but also is a very good classical dancer and has delivered many lectures and presented many papers on the health benefit of practicing classical dance. We would like to have another lecture on this topic also, ma'am. We are looking forward for this topic also. With great regards and heartfelt gratitude, I formally introduce Dr. Nisha Kumari, ma'am. Dr. Nisha Kumari is a professor and HOD at Kundapura Rural Ayurvedic Medical College and Hospital, Udupi. She has done her BMS from Elvas Ayurvedic Medical College, Mudbidre. She has done her MD from SDM Ayurvedic Medical College, Udupi. Ma'am has published number of articles in various journals and magazines and has presented numerous papers in various national and international seminars. बहुत सारे मैम के पेपर प्रेजेंटेशंस हैं, आर्टिकल्स पब्लिकेशंस हैं, तो बहुत डिटेल हम नहीं बता सकते, इसलिए हम सिर्फ ये बताएंगे कि मैडम के बहुत सारे पब्लिकेशंस हैं. मैम इज अ ऑथर ऑफ टेक्स्ट बुक ऑफ रोगनिदान एंड विकृति विज्ञान वॉल्यूम 1 and 2, which is one of the best sellers. Ma'am has presented paper and has given lecture on influence of Indian classical dance on human body, mental well-being, and cardiorespiratory well-being. She has her expertise in skin disorders also. Ma'am has also worked on the Dhupan and Dhupan karma in the epidemic, role of Dhupan in the epidemics also. She has received patency for Ayurvedic formulation for osteoarthritis and musculoskeletal pain management and analgesic spray. So congratulations, ma'am, for this. She is a regular radio. She is giving her regular radio talks on Nitya Sanjeevani, TV talk, health talks on Ayush channel. She is also engaged in pathology model making. She is also engaged in other event organizations like seminars, guest lectures, workshop, and performs and instructor in Bharatnatyam, Indian music, painting, theater events, and so on. Ma'am has uploaded her 5 episodes of video in YouTube channel named The Rhythm. It explains health benefit of dancing in various system of human body. I have also seen these videos, ma'am. So with the hope that today's lecture will add to new hopes and avenues in the advancement of Rognidan and eventually to the Ayurveda, I call upon Dr. Nisha Kumari ma'am to please start the lecture. Welcome, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Deepti ji, for that introduction. A very good afternoon, Pawan Kumar ji, Deepti ji, Ganesh ji, Atul ji, and the entire Roganidana fraternity. Thank you for this opportunity. Well, the need of selecting this topic, I would like to share. I always believed in escaping ordinary, be unique, and do things differently. And I don't know why. Microbes attracted me towards them. Being a person from Roganidana, microbes fascinated me. There is a universe outside, we know that, but there is a universe inside our body as well, having galaxies, asteroids, meteoroids, etc., with trillions of microbes of more than 10,000 species dwelling there. Of late, I got familiarized with the concept of multiverse. And yes, this is multiverse. It is interesting, fascinating, promising, and it has lots of scope for Ayurveda here. Why? Because even Western medicine believe that microbes are getting stronger after mutation. We can discover antibiotics generation 1, 2, 3, and many more. But stronger the antibiotics, the microbes get mutated and become even more stronger. So when we design a new antibiotic stronger and stronger, and when we give it to the human body, it has got an adverse effect on the human body. It's always harmful, sometimes insufficient to kill the pathogens, and of course, always gives adverse reaction to the human body. Hence, the whole world of pharmacology is looking towards plant source. And there comes the concept of probiotic and prebiotic, where immunity is held high, where body should have elements to fight with. So, pharmacology has finished all its forms of combination and they don't have anything left over. So they are looking towards Ayurveda, Siddha, traditional Chinese medicine, indigenous medicine, alternative medicine, etc., to fight with pathogenic microorganisms. Now, this is the golden opportunity for Roganidana people who work on it to get collaborated or integrated or sometimes independently deal with pathogenic microorganisms and help our body's microbiome. With this introduction, I welcome you all for this August gathering. And I would like to share my slide now. Let me know if there is any technical issue in viewing my slides.
Yes, visible, ma'am. Please
Okay.
make it on slideshow, ma'am.
Yes. Am I there? Is it in slide presentation mode?
No, ma'am. Your video is not.
Slides are visible?
Slides are visible, ma'am.
Okay. I have closed my video so that.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes, once again, I would like to welcome you all for the analysis of gut microbiome with special reference to Kayagni in Ayurveda. We are 10% humans, that is human body both inside and outside forms a landscape of habitats as diverse as any on earth. Like I said earlier, there is a world inside our body itself. That is human gut microbiome, which is the aggregate of all kinds of microbiota that reside on or within human tissues and biofluids, along with corresponding anatomical sites which they reside. There is a microbiome in our gut. There is a microbiome in our skin. There is a microbiome in our throat, lungs. Likewise, depending upon the anatomical sites of our body, there are different worlds existing, which is made up of microbiome. And the lifespan of one single microbe can be for few days or for few weeks. Later, it will reproduce. The dead microbe will be maybe later distinguished or extinguished from the body through fecal excretion, and a new bacteria replaces the old one. This goes long. In this picture, you can see a blood vessel below. Above that, you have our body cell. Then you have a mucus layer. Then we have mucus loving layer. And above that, we have a gut lumen with mobile microbes. Now, this segregation is required. There is a barrier of mucus layer between our body cell as well as microbe. Now, this is essential. This is what Kledaka kapha is. The mucus layer is made up of Kledaka kapha, which is present in the entire lumen, which will maintain the integrity between our body cell as well as microbe. Now, this layer is very essential. Why? I will explain in my future slides. The intricate gut microbiome is hypothesized as a metabolic organ itself within the host, that itself is an organ. So Ayurveda never said as one particular organ, it just said Mahasrotas or Koshta, which itself is an organ, because there dwell this microorganism which does diverse of functions. it does metabolism, it produces many things. So it is involved in synthesis, it is involved in defense, and destroys the pathogenic or invading microbes. It regulates the body's homeostasis. It does the transportation of nutrients. It does the transmission of especially the neural signal, and transformation. Very, very important is transformation. From one particular compound, a complete new compound is produced, and that will be present only in the functionality of the gut microbe. So when you eat food, say for example, you have consumed draksha, and that draksha with the help of gut microbiome will be converted into raktadhatu. It will be digested, yes. It will be form of a complex draksha will be broken down into single molecule, agreed. But converting the draksha into raktadhatu, for that you need gut microbes. So with various enzymatic activity in the cellular level is brought about by various kinds of microbes in our body. So here, as I said earlier, the human body is colonized by a vast number of microbial population known as human gut microbiome. We find innate microbes in different parts of the body. May that be in the throat, may that be in the lungs, may that be in the small intestine or large intestine, as well as the skin. The first layer of the skin has got microbial layer. Your skin between or within the hair follicles, you have microorganisms, and they act as a sixth sense. So anything that is happening in the environment will be first alerted by our skin microbiome, and they convey the information to our gut, and our gut will produce relevant enzymes and chemicals which is required for the process of defense. The human microbiota have a symbiotic and mutualistic relationship. We need them, they need us, which means the human, as well as the bacteria work together, work for each other, benefit for each other, depend upon each other for survival. There is an association of microbiota as well as health. So far, the research ongoing with content are in vitro study or animal study, and it's very exciting and relatively new in the field of research. That's why I just want to drag your interest towards this particular topic. The large quantity of microbes are found in the large intestine. So just now I told about I'm just focusing only on gut microbiome. You can make a seminar on skin microbiome. A separate talk you can have with throat microbiome. A separate topic you can have on different microorganisms depending upon the anga, poshtanga or avayava. But today, I would like to focus your interest on gut microbiome. Why? Because this is a principal element of all that, the controlling or the regulating place of all that. That is why Pakvashaya is the sthana of Vata, because Vata is that dosha which regulates anything and everything of our body. The mobility, the motility, coordination, transportation, transmission, everything is brought about by Vata dosha. The stimulation as well, cell multiplication, reproduction is the function of Vata dosha. And that is why Pakvashaya is the sthana of Vata. Well, you know the different aspects or different parts of large intestine. Well, that may be from sigmoid colon, cecum, ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, sigmoid colon, as well as rectum. Here, you have the density of microbes will vary from this angle. The large quantity of microbes are found in large intestine, as I said earlier. So there is one form of microbe really in the cecum. Here, there is one question. I said that we have microbe in our body. And why is that our immune system is not destroying this microbe? Why this is not antigen? And why there is no antigen-antibody reaction between our body cell and gut microbiome? The answer is here. So there is a mucus layer between the human cell as well as the microbe in the large intestine. It is thicker in the large intestine and comparatively thinner in the small intestine because it is the pitta sthana. That is why the shleshma is comparatively lesser in that place. It has to be more acidic. Well, when the acidity is more, that time the mucus secretion will be more. Otherwise, we require a little bit of more form of pitta in the small intestine, as well as the stomach, as well as duodenum. Hence, the mucus layer is thinner there. In the large intestine, the mucus layer is thicker. And this is the barrier between both. And not only that, there is one IgA antibody cell which mediates the human cell from that of the gut microbiome. And hence, there is no antigen-antibody reaction happening between our body cells as well as gut microbiome. Therefore, there will not be any immune response with the human cells. This is the symbiotic living. The gut microbiota may change in the composition throughout the development. So from childhood to the adulthood, depending upon the medication, diet, as well as the lifestyle. Hence, ahara, nidra, brahmacharya, vihara, everything is directly proportional to the gut health, the Kayagni. How to proceed the further understanding with this? Let us continue. As I said earlier, the microbe composition is different. So each individual is different. So we have different prakriti and different behavior because we are having different microbe in different humans. Hence, their expression is different. That is the direct, that has got direct relationship with the health, disease tendency, behavior, mental composition, the stability, immunity, everything. So some people will have very good immunity, some people will have moderate immunity, and some poor. All that depends upon the composition and density of microbes that dwell in this large intestine. More diverse you have microbe, better will be the health, better will be the immunity, better will be the nutrition, better will be the strength, better will be the physique, better will be the lifespan. So that is the importance of having wide variety of microbes in the body. There are more bacterial species and diversity as the large intestine progresses into distal intestine. So there is increase in the mucus thickness. So more than 1,000 species of microbes are there in the gut, you just saw it. And only few are known, only few of them are known, many more to explore. Their main function in the large intestine is to absorb nutrient and undergo fermentation. Okay, so the two main important functions of microbes in the gut is to absorb nutrient as well as fermentation. Both of them are metabolism only, but I am just focusing only on these two things. What is that? Absorption of nutrients as well as fermentation. There are two things you know here, Sara as well as Kitta from Ahara. The Ahara, once Pachana takes place, it will be divided into Sara as well as Kitta with the help of Samanavata. The Sara is absorbed as well as the Kitta will further go for the process of excretion. Now let us, both are essential here. Both Sara is also essential, Kitta is also essential. And for production of Sara and production of Kitta, we need gut microbiome. For both we need. It's not that only for the sake of nutrition we should be dependent on this. We require both. Foods that are not digested as well as foods that are not absorbed, they go to large intestine. Now in large intestine, in the presence of gut microbiome, the carbohydrate fermentation happens with the help of bacteria. By the product, here one product is produced. A byproduct is produced during this period, and that is called as short chain fatty acid. Okay, so you're just seeing it here. So the short chain fatty acids are produced in this particular place. Some of the short chain fatty acids, such as butyrate, are used as energy by colon cell. Now I'll pause this for a minute and I would like to deviate you to Ayurvedic concept at this point. See, as I told, when the large intestine receives the sara, that goes for absorption and that goes for circulation, and their utpatti of dhatu poshana takes place. The kitta is again seen, checked and segregated, and then it is eliminated. Before the elimination of kitta, there are a lot of things happening. From the kitta also, from the waste, so-called waste materials also, the gut microbiome has the capacity of extracting energy so that there is zero energy loss and complete 100% uptake of energy from it. Even from the kitta or the mala, before excretion, maximum energy is being absorbed. That is because of the presence of gut microbiome only. The gut microbiome has the capacity of extracting the byproduct, that is butyrate, which produces or yields energy and provides energy to the cells of the colon. I just told I would like to deviate you from this point. I hope you have understood this much. All of you have studied Raja Yakshmi. In the Chikitsa as well as in the Asadhya Lakshana of Raja Yakshma, there is one small, very important information. Malam hi balam. Many of them wondered what actually this interpretation is about. Raja Yakshma has got one reference which says Malam hi balam. Now, what is the meaning of it? One interpretation says, see that in Raja Yakshma, Atisara doesn't happen because the patient has lost all the dhatus because of dhatukshaya. And when all the dhatukshaya is happening, there is no bala left. At least this mala will be giving that little amount of strength to the patient. Do not let that mala go out. This is one interpretation. One more interpretation says that malam hi balam means avoid atisara in Raja Yakshma patient, because if the patient is having atisara, whatever little bit of energy is left over, that also will go. Now, with the help of this knowledge, we have a new interpretation. What is that interpretation? In the gut, we have gut microbes that has got capacity to extract energy from this waste material, and that energy will be provided to the colon cells. And this is very important. The life of colon cell is very important because they need energy, and energy is provided to those colon cells through butyrate, which is produced by the gut microbes. In the patient who is suffering from Raja Yakshma, this is the energy available. Malam hi balam, that energy is provided to the colon cells from this part of Kitta through gut microbiome. And if the patient loses this gut microbiome, there is nobody to give energy to the colon cells. And the kshaya gets completed in every aspect. Rasakshaya, Raktakshaya, Mamsa, Meda, Asti, Majja, everything undergoes kshaya. This is the last hope, and that also goes away if this microbe dies. If the gut microbe dies and the intestine becomes bald, then nobody you have to give you nutrition. So nutrition is not there, strength is not there, bala is lost. So malam hi balam, with special reference to Raja Yakshma, you can, it's not exaggeration, it is very much real here with this perspective. Moreover, as I said earlier, what is required for immunity is, that is IgA, is being synthesized in this part of your intestine. Even though Peyer's patch, you have the relevant elements that is required for our immune system is being provided from this part of your intestine. Now, if at all if this particular part of intestine is not producing those components, then immunity gets poor and the patient becomes open for any disease when immunity is poor. Thus, he may suffer from Atisara. Thus, he may suffer from Raktajatisara, Raktapitta, Shwasa, Kasa, everything, including Pandu. And the body becomes abode of multiple disease as well as disease complexes. And this stage is the Asadhya Lakshana of Raja Yakshma. As said, up to 70% of energy used by colon cell come from short chain fatty acids. Okay, these are the colon cells that has been drawn over here. These are the colon cells, and they require energy, and there is a layer of mucus, and it has got a particular thickness, and this particular thickness is for the sake of permeability. There is a blood supply for it, also vascular flow is there, and tissue repair as well as new tissue formation also happens in the presence of this. And to continue with this concept, the short chain fatty acids absorbed by the blood will influence the adiposity, influence the immune system, and play key role in the health of colon cell. I would like to remind Rajayakshma once again here, it is this particular part of your body which influence adiposity, immune system. Now I told about adiposity. Adiposity, when there is decrease in the fat cell, the patient will have wasting, muscle wasting, or dehakshaya, karsha will manifest. Krishakaya or karshaka will be there. And this karsha is one of the lakshana of Rajayakshmi. Immune system gets poor. Because of this, patient will become a place where multiple disease, especially infectious disease, get involved. Again, lots of disease. Ekadasha Rupa Rajayakshma is a very, very complex one because immune system is almost zero. All disease is seen in. It's messed up if this colon cell isn't in the healthy status, or if this colon cell is not getting energy from the gut bacteria. This is the consequence. The function of gut microbe is to increase mucus secretion, is to decrease cell permeability, deepening the crypts of intestine, increase the vascular flow. It stimulates tissue repair and renewal of villi. Once again, I would like to correlate this part in Ayurveda also. So we all talk about Shukra Dhatu. Most of the time we correlate Shukra Dhatu with that of sexual reproduction. I would like to remind you that there are two forms of Shukra. One is Sthanika Shukra and another one is Sarvadaihika Shukra. Shukra is related to reproduction as well as repair. Every day from your body, old cells die and new cells are produced. And that new cells are produced by mitotic division or meiosis or whatever you call cell division through Sarvadaihika Shukra. And this part of your gut microbiome will be influencing the Shukra Dhatu and helping Rasayana, because what is Rasayana? Rasayana is first Dhatu should get nourished, second Dhatu, third Dhatu. After all that, Shukra Dhatu should get nourishment. It's not that only Shukra Dhatu you want to enhance. After enhancement of all the 7 Dhatu, then the word Rasayana is complete. From Rasa Dhatu to Shukra Dhatu. Everything has to be nourished. And that is done at this part of the intestine. So, Sarvadaihika Shukra is related to the reproduction of the cells, repair of the cells, as well as the Sthanika Shukra is related to the sexual reproduction by means of secretion of the hormones and sexual interest and sexual contact, as well as production of the fetus and all that. That is related to the Sthanika aspect of Shukra. Well, along with this, it promotes the barrier integrity and function of digestive system. And that is why this is Mahasrotas. It is not just large intestine which does the function of digestion and excretion. Large intestine is not just related to division of Sara as well as Kitta, absorption of Sara and elimination of Kitta. No, it is Mahasrotas because it does everything, and that is why it is this Sthana of Vata. So it does the function of maturation and development of lymphoid tissue such as Peyer's patch in the mucosal system, as well as lymphoids. The gut microbiome is also able to produce immune mediators and increase concentration to secrete IgA antibodies, as I have told earlier. Okay, all these are the resultant of that. It influences T cells in the composition of lamina propria. All right. The gut microbiome on nervous system, especially in the place where there is a decrease. Just a second. I think here that you have. Yeah. It decreases the synaptic connectivity. It then sometimes promoting, because whenever there is decrease in synaptic connectivity, there will be promotion of anxiety-like behavior, as well as pain perception will be more. Now, this is nothing but vata vriddhi. When there is decreased synaptic connectivity, just a minute. Am I still there in the meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll once again share some technical error. Sorry. Yeah. Can you see the slide now?
No, ma'am, not yet.
I guess you can see the slide.
No, ma'am. It's showing as
Hello.
started screen sharing. Double click to enter full screen mode. Yes, ma'am. Please unmute yourself.
Yeah. Am I back?
No, ma'am. Your screen is not visible.
Shall I continue?
Screen is not visible, ma'am. Hello. Ma'am, please make it a
Yeah.
slideshow. Yes.
Yeah.
Screen is visible. Please make it slide.
Okay. Yeah. Shall I continue?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Sorry for that. Yeah.
No.
In the previous slide, I was telling about the gut microbiome having the capacity to enhance the synaptic connectivity, and that is what happens when there is vata vriddhi. And this is why you give basti, where the pakwasha is being filled with the medications, and the microbiome bacteria dwelling in the pakwashaya gets repaired and restores the function of it. Not only that, the sattva, shula, neurological disorders, all are related to this place, because just now I just told you about the neurological connectivity, bone restoration through the microbes that are present in the large intestine. That is why Basti is said to be the Ardha Chikitsa and the one which is of rest that restores Vata dosha. The gut microbiome and bone homeostasis is the one which I'm going to explain you a little while later. Coming back, what is this gut microbiome in the Ayurvedic perspective is the big question. And some aspects of Agni we can relate here. You can see a picture where there is flame of Agni, and I hope you can see the cursor where I'm moving. This is the lower limit and this is the upper limit. And Mandagni, which is much lower than the lower limit, this is not at all adequate. These are nothing but the digestive enzymes. When the digestive enzymes are not adequate, they will not correctly make a particular compound to which the microbes will act. The gut microbes will act on the digested material and then they convert into respective dhatus. So if the food is not digested properly, the gut microbiome will not act on it. Even though if they act, they may produce bad byproduct, and that bad byproduct is nothing but ama. In case of Mandagni, the food is not digested properly. To that, the gut microbiome cannot act. Even though if they act, the sara or the dhatus cannot be produced out of it. In case of Tikshnagni, here you can see this is the lower limit and it is the upper limit, and the flame burns very high. The food gets completely burnt off, overburnt, overcooked, completely charred, ashes. This is also that product to which the microbes cannot interact. If the food is not digested, the microbes will not act upon it. If the food is overburned, from that also, the extraction of nutrition cannot be done by the microbes. Everything will be converted into ashes. So again, there is poor nutrition here. Vishamagni. This is that form of Agni where sometimes the Agni becomes very intense, Agni becomes very less, and Agni is optimum, unpredictable. In this, there can be a mixture of digested material with the undigested material and with the partially digested material, and it becomes a very, very bad compound collectively. So that is what you call it as Vishtabda Jirna, which produces very, very toxic gases. And in case of Apanavata, this can be seen, Daurgandhya can be seen. Whenever there is Daurgandhya in the Apanavata, assume that there is a Vishamagni inside and there is a mixture of the digested, undigested, and partially digested food. And to that, when the gut microbiome is interacting, it produces a toxic gas that is called as Vishtabda Jirna, producing Daurgandhya in the Apanavata. So as I told earlier, anything that has to be converted from one form to another form, you need gut bacteria. Take it from one example I'm giving. Take thyroid. You know that it starts from the pituitary level itself, from there to the neck, and from the neck to the intestine, there with that of a liver, and then once again back to the intestine. In intestine, the T3 are converted, the T4 is actively converted into T3 by the bacteria in the gastrointestinal tract in the presence of gut microbe. So if you want to convert the inactive form of thyroid hormone into an active form, that is T3, you need bacteria in the gastrointestinal tract. See, from thalamus to the gut, the role of thyroid you have. It's not just the morphology or the pathology lying in the neck or thyroid gland. Though thyroid gland is normal, though thyroid gland is producing adequate amount of enzyme or hormone, if the gut microbiome is not converting the inactive form of thyroid into active form, there is no result. The function of thyroid gland will not be achieved. Again, if you give medicine to thyroid hormone or if you supplement thyroid hormone, it is of no use. Why? Because thyroid hormone secretion is adequate, but conversion of inactive thyroid hormone into an active hormone is not happening because that gut microbiome is not there. Here, what you have to do, you have to enhance the gut microbes so that the inactive thyroid is converted into active form. Coming to nutrition and gut bacteria, most members of the human microbiota benefit humans by providing nutrition from the ingested food in return for assisting the breakdown of food or preventing colonization of gut by harmful bacteria. You have multiple forms of gut microbe. Hence, you have multiple forms of food. So much of diversity you have in food, especially Indian food. You have starters, you have main course, you have dessert. Why you have so much variety? Lot of vegetables, spices, condiments, adjuvants. Why so many forms? If you see Ahara Varga, there is almost infinite number of Ahara Vargas. May that be plant source, Shaka Varga, Kanda Varga, Moolas, Phala. And again, you have animal product of different forms in the form of Mamsa, Kshira, Grita, Majja, also for eating purpose as ahara. Why you want to have so much variety of food? Why just you can't have only roti? Why you just can't have only rice? That's enough. No, you need to have different vegetables every day. You need to have different forms of food every day, including mamsa rasas or mamsa prayoga also should be there. Why? Because you have this many varieties of microbes and they need them. And they are the one which will be converting something out of best, something from zero to best. Something you want rasa and you have eaten food and it will be converted into rasa with the help of gut microbiome. So your nutrition in the sense, not just ingestion and digestion, not just absorption. The absorbed materials should be converted into saptadhatus and that dhatus should be nourished daily with the help of ahara. Dhatu production is different. Dhatu poshana is different. Dhatu poshana takes place with the help of ahara in the presence of these microbes. As I said earlier, so you need nutrition for every cell of your body. And each cell is different. Nerve cells are different. Cardiac area, there is different forms of cells when it comes to muscle and when it comes to liver, when it comes to intestine, when it comes to bone, the form of cell is different. Osteocytes you have for bones, right? Epithelial cells you have, columnar cells you have, cuboid cells you have, neurons you have, and they need nutrition. And every nutrition cannot be extracted from one single form of ahara. Sometimes ahara is there. If gut microbes are not there, again, it is of no use. Sometimes ahara is not there. You have very good plethora of microbes in your body. Still, you can manage. So you can see some people, they may eating very good amount of food, very healthy variety of food. Still, they are undernourished, malnourished. You can see some people who have habit of taking very less food or some variety of food. Still, they are very strong and healthy. Again, we cannot say absolutely. There are people who eat good food, stay healthy. There are people who have bad food and become sick. What I'm saying here is always this is not absolute. Not every person who eats nutritious food can remain healthy. Even a person who is eating nutritious food can remain healthy if his gut doesn't have this much variety of microbes in his body. And there you have the importance of probiotics. The food with chemicals produced by gut bacteria will produce various compounds. That is dhatus. And upadhatus also you have. You have neurotransmitters, you have vitamins, and some things you need to store. You have immunomodulators, and all of them are produced from your food by microbiome. I will give you two examples. Have you heard of tryptophan? It is present in, most of the time it is present in meat. Okay, it is an essential amino acid, so it's not produced by your body. You have to eat it, and then only this will be extracted. So when the gut microbiome interacts with the tryptophan, it produces serotonin. Now, serotonin is a hormone that keeps you cheerful, happy, and in a good mood always. You might have seen so many people. They have everything in life. They have money, they have vehicle, they are well settled financially. Still, always they crumble. They are not happy. But there are some people with a very less amount of sources they have. They'll be very happy. Assume that they have very good amount of serotonin in their body produced by their body's gut microbiome. There is one more enzyme produced by the tryptophan, that is melatonin. Melatonin is the one which enhances sleep in the body. You should get natural sleep. And natural sleep is produced by the melatonin when you eat food that contains tryptophan. When tryptophan interacts with the gut microbiome, it produces melatonin, and that brings sleep in a person. Okay. One small example, I will just quote you in this phase. All of you have studied about Dinacharya. In our first BAMS, some of you might be teaching Dinacharya to students as well. Some of you may be following Dinacharya as well, hopefully. Here, there is a reference of Brahmi Murta Uttishta. You have to wake up early in the morning at Brahmi Murta spontaneously. Nowadays, you have alarms, someone will come to wake you up. No, I'm not telling that type of awakening, natural awakening. And there is a reference there itself. There is a commentary stating that you get awakened when the process of digestion is completed. So that is a reference. So it has got direct access to the GIT. Sleep has got direct connectivity with the GIT, especially the large intestine. And soon after the Uttishta, the Shaucha, that is excretion, has to happen to eliminate the Kitta that has produced from the meals of the previous day. So till then, melatonin is the one which is keeping you engaged in sleeping. When a person is in sleeping mode, don't think that the entire body is resting. It's not that heart is only functioning when you're asleep. It's not that lungs are only functioning when you're asleep. Your GIT is also functioning when you are in sleep. And there are some variety of microorganisms that will start functioning only when you are sleeping. If you're not sleeping, those gut microbiomes doesn't get activated. Hence, your gut health deteriorates because of it. The mucus secretion decreases when this happens. Remember, Ratri Jagarana increases Vata. Vata produces Rukshata. So Rukshata is the one which decreases mucus secretion. Raukshata is brought here. So Raukshata is Vata Prakopa, where you have Vatasthana as the large intestine. And this is a relation of diminution. This is the reason for diminishing of your gut health when you don't sleep properly. So that is why Ahara, Nidra, as well as Brahmacharya are three pillars are called as Trayopastamba. How much important is Ahara? Equally important is Nidra. And in newborn baby, we expect more Nidra because that Nidra promotes growth. Coming to another compound, thyrosin. This is also again derived from meat and some of the other components like nuts and tubers. When this food is digested and when thyrosin is released by the gut after digestion, the gut microbiome interacts with thyrosin and produces dopamine as well as epinephrine. Dopamine is the one which will keep you active always, high always, talkative always, hyperactive sometimes. That is dopamine. And this is the one which has got direct relation with that of Parkinsonism. You all know that. Then comes epinephrine. Epinephrine is the one which is the hormone that is secreted for taking risk and adventure in your life if you take it in a constructive form. Well, it is destructive also when you use it for the anger and destruction. Epinephrine is not at all good if your temper is bad. You can use epinephrine for constructive purpose. There, again, you need thyrosin. Well, there is one more reference in Ayurveda. The use of Shukradhatu is not only for the sake of reproduction, but also Dhairya, Utsaha is also brought about by Shukradhatu. That Dhairya, courage, Utsaha, both of them are from dopamine as well as epinephrine, released from thyrosin in the presence of gut microbiome only. Now, here are the description of it. As I said earlier, there are three phases in the digestion: Pachana, Paka, and Parinama. What is Pachana? The mechanical digestion happening in the stomach, the chemical digestion happening in the small intestine, and absorption and assimilation is happening in the large intestine. Come back here. The mechanical digestion happening in the stomach with the presence of muscles of the stomach is Pachana. The Avastapaka, Nishtapaka, what you call it as chemical digestion that is happening in the duodenum in the presence of Jataragni is Paka. Once the Pachana happens in the stomach, then the digested material goes to the duodenum. There in the presence of Jataragni, Paka take place. Which Paka? Madhuravastha Paka, Amlavastha Paka, Katuavastha Paka will take place. From there, the food will go to the small intestine as well as some parts of large intestine. And there, the Sara Kitta Vibhajana will take place. On this Sara, one variety of microbes will act. On Kitta, another variety of microbes will act. The microbes that act on Sara produces the nutrients which is nourishing Saptadhatus. The microbes that act on Kitta will produce energy to the colon cells I just described in my earlier slides. So the microbes that do parinama from ahara to dhatus is Dhatvagni. This Dhatvagni is gut microbiome. I repeat, the Dhatvagni that converts ahara into saptadhatu and nourishes is our gut microbiome. The Bhutagni is the Agni that is present in the stomach, bringing mechanical digestion. The Jataragni is doing Paka, the chemical digestion in the duodenum. The Parinama is the Dhatuvagni, which is from the extracted nutrients, it nourishes the Saptadhatu, is Parinama. And again, another group of microbes will act on Kitta also. Still, it will yield energy. Malam hi balam. Here also we can use it. It's not that only in Rajakshma you should talk about Malam hi balam. Otherwise also you can talk about Malam hi balam through this concept. So if Agni is good, digestion is good, but gut microbes are not healthy, it's of no use. Simply if you give medicine for Pachaka, Pitta or Jataragni, it is of no use. You should correct Bhutagni. Pandu may be resultant of poor Pachakagni. It may be resultant of poor Ranjaka Pitta or
Hello. Hello, ma'am. Hello. Please stay joined. Ma'am will join in within two minutes. Yes. I think some network issue is there on the ma'am's end. Hello.
Shall I continue? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Continue, ma'am.
Sorry again, it's rain here. Yeah. Well, coming back, as I said, the Dhatu Poshana, you have heard that there are three Nyayas: Kshiradadi Nyaya, Kedarakulya Nyaya, Kalekapota Nyaya. And these three Nyayas are from three different groups of microorganisms that are present in your gut. The theory of conversion from one form to another, that is absorption of milk and extraction of calcium and deposition of calcium in the bones and teeth, is nothing but Kshiradadi Nyaya. This just converts from one form to another. Kedarakulya Nyaya. So the theory of circulation, it just goes to a particular channel only because it wants to supply to that particular organ only. Okay, so the neurotransmitters will go to CNS only, nowhere else it goes. That is Kedarakulya Nyaya. Kalekapota Nyaya, the theory of selectivity. One particular form of cells will be expecting that form of nutrition only, and it is produced with that form of microorganism only. No one else will produce and no one else will be supplying. So that is Kalekapota Nyaya. So these three Nyayas of Dhatu Poshana are done after Parinama, and to all these things you need gut microbiome. For conversion of Ahara into Dhatus, you need gut microbiome, and the three Nyayas are fulfilled by the gut microbiome. I really wonder how our Acharyas explained all these things without the microscopes or all these things. It's really fascinating. And if Agni is improper, gut health will diminish because gut microbes will not get the raw materials from the food. If the Dhatu Agni, if Agni is fine, digestion is fine, but gut microbes are not adequately functioning, then also Poshana is improper or incomplete. Hence, if one is expecting complete Poshana, it's not the Ahara you should focus on, it's the gut microbe or gut health also you should focus on. And this is the reason why Virechana is been given, Vamana is been given, because of which Koshta Shuddhi happens, and hence nutrition will be enhanced. If you see Pandu Chikitsa, Shodhana is the first line of treatment, and then you have to give medicines. Most of the medicine, most of the Chikitsa goes with Shodhana because that will remove the dirt or obstacles of this process, and then nutrition becomes complete. When you will come to know that your gut microbiome is not functioning properly, the first and foremost symptom is Anaha, Admana, Atoma. So it is this dysbiosis happening between, there is a fight happening between we human cells as well as microbes. Because of this, toxic gases are produced and they produce bloating. So whenever you have bloating, assume that you are in the first phase of amotpatti and first phase of disease formation. Do not ignore this phase. Most of us will think that the gas is produced and focus on removing the gas. Gas you may remove by taking some antacids or whatever it is. But what about the dysbiosis? We have to repair that also, no? So that is done by Agni Tundivati or Chitrakadivati, which we call upon the Dhatu-Agni Deepaka as well as Agni Deepaka. So bloating is a sign of dysbiosis. This is the slide that shows the relationship between gut as well as the brain, the behavior, the intellect, the memory, the emotion, the tolerance is all from the gut. The nutrition that is extracted from the gut will produce enzymes, and this enzyme will act as a neurotransmitter and perform various functions of the brain. That is why Virechana as well as Basti is indicated in neurological disorders also. In Smritinasha also, Gritapana is being given because Grita is the one which is a barrier or which acts as a connector between the gut as well as brain. It increases Agni. I won't say it increases Agni. I use the word it optimizes the Agni. Grita is the one which optimizes the Agni. It enhances the quality of Agni. Enhancing the quality means what? All Jatragni, Bhutagni, Dhatuvagni is enhanced. That means your gut microbiome is also getting nutrition from this Grita. So Grita enhances Smriti, Grita enhances neurological functions, Grita enhances gut functions. That is the supremacy of Grita Sevana or Grita Pana. And in almost all neurological disorders or Vyata Vyadi, the Sneha, medicine in the form of Sneha is the best source. Well, in case of Bhuta Roga, Graha Roga or Mano Roga also, that has got direct relationship with that for gut microbes. Because gut microbes are the one which is producing neurotransmitters, including dopamine and all. So they are the one which can confuse the neural cells with that of hallucinations and all. The gut microbes are the one which produces, secretes, circulates different kinds of gut hormones. This gut hormones reaches the brains and often confuses with the perception, learning and memory as well as social interaction. The person may behave weird, the person may forget things, and the person may look as if he's been possessed by something. To some extent, we can say our gut health also influences our mental health. Until and unless it is agantuja, all this mental health can be directly connected with the gut health. Only agantuja, then you can go with that of other variety of chikitsa like Daiva Vyapashraya. Otherwise, it is always through the koshta you take medicine to your mental health. Here is a small video clip that tells about your internal environment and how important is your gut organism influencing other part of the body, including your immune system. So this is that world where all forms of microbes dwell. So you have intestine, you have villi, and in the villi you have again minor projections called as microvilli. You have a layer of mucus, you can see there, and these are the floating microbes. Whenever there is different micro or pathogenic organism comes, then our immune cells get activated and they send information to our immune system. Based on that information, the antibodies are produced. Okay, so this is one day story. But if this continues, what happens? Now here the antibodies are produced, okay, fine. If at all, if you take synthetic antibiotics, so what happens is those synthetic antibiotics will harm the bacteria that are present in our body also. How? I will tell you. So these are pathogenic organisms, okay? All these are pathogenic organisms that are entering. Assume that the person is consuming antibiotics, okay? There is a difference between the process of death of pathogenic organisms by antibiotics and the process of death of pathogens by our gut microbiome. How? I'll tell you. Now, this particular microorganism, pathogenic microorganism, has invaded our body, and because of the antibiotic consumption, it has died. Before it dies, it releases the toxins. So this toxin will invade the gut cells as well as the microbes and destroy them. Can you see? Yes, this particular cell has died. Okay. So at the end of every inflammation, there is a cell damage happening. And if cell damage is more than cell repair, that can be dangerous, triggering cancer and autoimmune disorders. So this is the importance of gut health in causation of diseases, including cancer. As I said, dosha vaishamya is nothing but dysbiosis. Symbiosis is friendly relationship between we and our gut microbe. And if we are having bad relationship with our gut microbes, it is dysbiosis. All the Nija rogas starts here. Doshas, when they are in a normal state, they do physiology. Doshas, when they undergo dushti, will give pathology. It is your, no one from outside, it is your own body's element responsible for your health also, disease also. So your dosha can be this microbe, gut microbiome to some extent. All the diseases have evidence for a role of gut microbiota, including obesity, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, depression, heart disease, colon cancer, inflammatory bowel disease, asthma, skin disorder, diabetes. Everything starts because of the dysbiosis happening in the gut, because they release toxins which destroy liver cells, causing fatty liver. They release enzymes that have poor fat absorption, leading to obesity. They release those materials that can destroy beta islets of pancreas, causing diabetes. Okay, they release those toxins which increases mucus secretion in the chest or lungs, causing asthma. Likewise, so anything that is toxin, enterotoxin, will be produced by your own gut because of triggering factors, and they create all kinds of diseases. Lastly, I would like to come to the terminal part of my presentation, how to correct our gut health. As I said, your gut is responsible for your health. Your own gut is responsible for your disease. All those toxins are produced because of mithya ahara, mithya vihara. Those toxins has to be removed now. You might have taken a lot of antibiotics, lot of cellular debris or inflammatory debris are produced. Now it has accumulated inside your body. You have to remove it. And liver is the one which does all that. It is like your dustbin inside your body. But once in a while, you have to clean your dustbin also, no? Every day, the entire day's dust will be filled in the dustbin. But when the dustbin gets filled, that again causes all forms of stinking smell or poor atmosphere in your home or office or wherever. So you should clear your dustbin also. Same thing happens in your body. The toxins will be accumulated in the liver. Liver will tolerate as much as possible. At one particular point, when the tolerance is gone, that toxins will invade different organs, whichever organ is weak in your body, and produce disease. Hence, you are supposed to remove the toxins. And unfortunately, it is not possible for you to remove the toxin as it is. That's what they said. Ama, it is not possible for you to eliminate. You are supposed to convert ama into nirama, and only then you are supposed to eliminate it. Toxins cannot get released from the body. You are supposed to detoxify it, and then only elimination has to be done. And this process is called as biotransformation. Biotransformation is a process in which you are converting a toxin into a non-toxin, and then you are eliminating out of the body through Shodhana. And this is present only in Ayurvedic system of medicine. So you have Shodhana or Panchakarma where this detoxification happens. And again, to this, you need gut microbiome. You need to do Amapachana first, Agni Deepana, Snehapana, Svedana, and then Shodhana. And for the process of transformation of toxins into detoxins, you need to go for biotransformation. यहाँ
Hello.
that is the last slide I have told, and I would like to continue from there. The gut microbiota and influence on drug efficiency. The way, we have different food I have told just now. At the same time, we have different forms of medicine. Plant source, animal source, again, swarasa, kashaya, kalka, churna, vati, again, shodhana, shamana. Why you have so many varieties of medicines? Again, it is also for the same, that is enhancement of your gut microbiome. They are repairing your gut microbe. And when your gut microbe becomes healthy, they will fight against the disease. Okay, so the healthy body is that which is saroshada kshamedehe, because it has to tolerate all forms of medicine. Kashaya, interaction with gut microbiome, the molecular extraction happens, and it reaches a particular target cell, gives anti-inflammatory action. When you give snehapana, it gives or it extracts neurotransmission action. Arishta, Ksharana, Rukshana, Vyavaya, and Vikasha Guna. And moreover, the synergy happens with a particular Anupana, Patya, as well as Sevana Kala. What worsens the disease is antibiotics, chemotherapy, multiple drug interaction, because this destroys the gut bacteria, autoimmune disease, cancer, as well as hypersensitivity. The gut microbiome are synthesized by the mother, and during Garbhapura Shodhana, if it is done, mother will have a healthy gut, and that healthy bacteria will be transmitted to the fetus, and the fetus will be born, and now the infant will have the best form of microbe when it takes lactation from the mother. Remember, what is important here is first the microbe from the mother goes to the fetus, and this microbe that is present in the gut of the fetus will be nourished by the breast milk of the mother. This is the importance of the breast milk. You will say that it is important for stimulating the immunity because it has got that IgA, this IgM, and all. Only human or the mother only can secrete. It is not synthetic, etc. The intention is to promote the gut microbiome of the fetus, and it is possible by the lactation of that baby's child only. Now, when the baby is born from the vaginal delivery, and if the baby is not getting the mother's breast milk, then this gut microbes in the infant's child will not be in the healthy state. That is why such children who is deprived of lactation from the mother will often succumb to various kinds of infectious disease. On the other hand, if the mother delivers a child through cesarean section, again here the baby will not be exposed to the vaginal microbe of the mother. The vagina of the mother has got an environment or the universe of microbes, which is very essential. The exposure of the vaginal microbes are very essential for the child who is coming out of it. If this exposure is not there, then again, the baby is not getting adjusted to the new environment, because inside the womb of the mother, the baby is totally protected. But when it comes outside, there will be a lot of adjustment issues where the vaginal atmosphere will help the baby to adjust to the independent life. But when the baby is born through cesarean section, upon that the baby is not fed by the breast milk of the mother, you give diet formula or the feeding bottle, the immunity of the child is totally poor because the gut microbe of the child is very, very less diverse. To conclude, gut microbe can be a dosha, gut microbe can be an agni, gut microbe can be ojas. Gut microbe, if it is strong, infection is less likely to happen. Only when your gut microbe is poor in its function, the invading pathogens will enter and produce infection. The gut microbiome is responsible for portion of all the saptadhatus. And when all the saptadhatus are nourished, only then you are going to call it as rasayana. And when you eat aushadha, along with anupana, that is not to your body, that is not to your disease, that is to your gut microbiome. So always our medicines, Ayurveda medicine, believes in making your body strong to fight against the disease. Unfortunately, our gut has got the endangered species are there, just like you have some of the animals in the forest are getting endangered. So many birds are getting endangered, many animals are getting endangered. Similarly, in our gut also, many microbes are getting vanished, disappearing. So the strength that you have now is entirely different from the strength of the human that was 5,000 years old, because generation after generation, one or two microbes will completely get vanished away. So present day human gut microbe is entirely different from the gut microbe long ago. That is why you are seeing new diseases. And on the other hand, because of climate change and all, we are having endangered medicinal plants also. You cannot produce those aushadas that were there in our textbooks. Okay, so always think about symbiotic. You as well as your gut microbes should be friends, not enemies. Recently, you have plant endophytes. You are growing microorganisms in the part of the plant, and you extract those microbes and take the molecule that is good for your gut. That is also happening. This is a very latest research. Plant endophytes, you can go through that. Concept of probiotics, that is intake of live organism. Prebiotics, the food that enhances the health of your gut microbes, that is prebiotics. Visha as well as Vishakanya. A very interesting information I saw 2 days ago. There is a worm that can transform plastic into soil. Okay. Similarly, in your gut also, there are some things which can change anything into anything. So Vishakanya is something like that. For all of us, Visha will destroy the gut microbes. But there are some people who are blessed with the special forms of microorganisms which can tolerate Visha also. And such humans can withstand the intake of Visha also. Maybe that is the concept behind Vishakanya as well. Finally, the brain analyzes, follow your brain to be wise. The heart emotes, follow your heart to express. The gut always gives you real instincts, follow your gut. May that be our country or our gut. More diverse is always more productive. May you have different diverse microorganisms in your gut, and may you be healthy as well as live long forever. This is the concept of Agni, where you have Ayur, Varno, Balam, Tat Agnihi. And the importance of Agni is told that as long as your Agni is good, Bala, Varna, Ayu, Taruna, that is youth, always remains inside. With this, I would like to conclude. I'm very sorry for the network issues over here, and I hope I have given justice to the topic that is given. And I would like to hand over the session to Dr. Ganesh ji. I would like to answer any queries in this regard. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am, to take us on ride of multiverse in our guts. It literally takes a gut to ऐसे topic को छेड़ना. Nobody does like this, and you have explained in a new style to give a presentation in writing or to on board. Particularly, I like that style. Many students and PG scholars have also joined here. I request them if they have any queries, or some faculties are also there. If there are any add-ons from their side, so I welcome them. कुछ स्टूडेंट्स है तो उन्हें अगर कोई दिक्कत होगी या कोई प्रश्न पूछना होगा मैम से तो वेलकम. Actually, gut microbiome is such a multiverse, and ma'am had just entered. हमें से थोड़ा सा इसमें एंट्री किया है, एक ही गैलेक्सी दिखाई है. So we can take each microbiome as a galaxy, one galaxy, and take it on so long. Vata, Pitta, Kapha, फिर पाचक पित्त, समान वायु, then क्लेदक कफ. क्लेदक कफ का हमने बताया. Literally with Kledak Kaf, reference with night Ratra Jagran, mucus. So that was very nice, ma'am. And again, one concept which I have studied in my 20 years of my as a student and teaching career. मैंने पढ़ा भी यही मलम ही बलम, just as a phrase in Rajakshma, but you have elaborated so nicely, ma'am. Now I think those who have 50 or 60 participants जो हमारे फेसबुक पे ज्वाइन है, उनको इसके आगे मलम ही बलम का एक अलग से ही समझ में आएगा. हमें तो इतना ही बताया जाता था कि मल का संरक्षण करना है, and we have to protect mala, but you have gone beyond that. We have to protect microbiome and gut flora of that patients also. So thank you very much, ma'am. And Dosh Vaishamya, dysbiosis, I have just first time I have hear that concept, ma'am, dysbiosis. So I would like to just a small query, how we can dysbiosis and presbiosis, या उसका अगेंस्ट कौन सा होता है? जैसे दोष वैषम्य के लिए हमने we have referred as a dysbiosis. Yes, ma'am. Just
Yeah. Yes. Symbiosis. Symbiosis
Yes,
is dosha samyata.
Okay, ma'am. मैम आपने इतना सारा मटेरियल दिया है रिसर्च करने के लिए. We can take a dosha vaishamya and dysbiosis as a separate topic for discussion also. Symbiosis and dosha samyata for another topic. So I request any student or faculty to have some add-ons again. Otherwise, we will conclude this such a wonderful session. And sorry for some technical glitches in between, but still public hold here. जैसे 60 थे अभी 30 तक आए हैं. Yes, anybody have any questions? I think many of students have not reached to Earth destination. They are still in galaxy, ma'am.
If you have any queries, you can also put it in the chat box if you can't, or else you can also mail me. I'll just put my email
Yes,
ID in this chat box. So if at all, now for the first time, if you are hearing, maybe at the first go, you may not understand. Probably by hearing about this multiple times, you may get some new ideas, better understandings, and some doubts as well. If you find anything such, if you want to talk to me or discuss with me, I'll just put my email ID here.
Yes, ma'am.
Also my number. So I'll be waiting because as of now, right now, we have started one small study on this, Takra Prayoga as well as gut microbiome. So we have selected people who are not having Takra at all, and we have taken their stool samples and studied them. And after that, we are giving Takra Prayoga for 45 days. And after Takra Prayoga, what changes are there in their gut, we are studying. It's still in the research is ongoing. And once it finishes, I will share that information also in this platform. But it is very interesting. I request not only Roganidana, it can be matched with any subject. Tai Chikitsa people also can work with this, Panchakarma also, Prasuti people also, so people who are wishing to have healthy progeny, how important is Garbhadana Purvaka Shodhana for Poshtha Shuddhi and mother's gut health, lactation, how it enhances the child and prevents diseases like autism and all, behavioral disorders and all. It is directly connected with this. It's a very, very featured concept. And this is a place where we Roganidana people can do something because we are directly connected with microbiology as one of the paper. Many of the time we think that our goal is on diagnostics like studying USG, X-ray, ECG. We are just focused on that. If it is not possible for you to reach to that aspect, come to microbiology. It's very fascinating and very, very future. And people from microbiology also need us. People from pharmacology also need us. So when there is an integration between Roganidana, microbiology, biochemistry, as well as pharmacology, I think that will be a best collaborated and integrated team to do a lot of research. A lot of papers are awaiting, a lot of research can be done with this team. And I request all of you, urge all of you to please think in this regard.
Yes, ma'am, definitely, ma'am. One article I have read in Times of India or something on WhatsApp. There is a concept in American researchers that is stool donors. So they are working on stool donation. So,
exactly. So instead of actually having a poop capsule, it's called as poop capsule.
Yes,
some donors who has got wide diverse of gut microbes are selected, and their fecal samples are collected, and it is put into a capsule, and it is given to the people who are having bowel intestine. And we have better treatment like Basti Prayoga, Takra Prayoga, and I think we are much advanced and better when it comes to fecal transplant, but we are
yes,
not voicing out. We
yes,
have to
ma'am.
work.
That's where I am pointing out.
Correct.
They are trying now. Stool donation and something like that, or microbiome, prebiotic. But we have 5,000 years of history. Just we have to just mention और इस काल के भाषा में हमें उसे लिखना है. We have to just tell people in today's language only. Yes, ma'am. So very motivating lecture, ma'am. Once again, thank you on the behalf of Academy of Rope Nidan, ma'am. Thank you very much. And on this happy note, with your due permission, we will conclude this session, ma'am. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Deepam. Deepti ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you.